Good evening, everyone, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to It's Okay to Be Okay. I'm here today with Chrystal Hood and Jennifer Buck. And today we are going to talk about insight. What an insight is, how do you know the difference between an insight and ego, that kind of thing. And who wants to start?
We'll start. So the best way I've heard an insight defined was, my favorite way is by not George Pransky, his son, Jack Pransky. And he said that an insight is any new thought, any thought that makes you see something differently. And it's funny because it can be anything for anybody, you know? And my first insight wouldn't be an insight for anybody else. My first insight was I am not my crazy,
Mm.
and it just there's something, a thought that makes you see differently, makes you look at it differently, and then allows you to relate to your thinking differently. And they don't always have words. An insight comes with a good feeling and a clearer vision.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was trying to think of like, okay, how do I put words to my insights? Because I don't have words. I have feelings that I could around them that came up that I could try my best to describe. But it's even really hard to try to put an insight into words because they are different for everybody. And I love Jack's definition of it. For me, I don't know. When I think of it, it's a simplified thing for me, right? I think an insight is literally a sight inside, a glimpse even of your true self and your essence at your core, your soul, your authenticness, everything that's innate. So for me, like it's that thought that takes you inside and you don't even know that's where that thought was taking you. And like Jen said, sometimes you don't even know what it is, what the thought is, because don't ask me. I can just tell you everything's different, but I cannot tell you the exact thing it was. And I think it was for Sydney Banks. It took like, what, 10 years before he realized,
Before he could put
put it into words.
words,
Yeah. So
kind
I
of,
don't feel
to
bad because sometimes I'm like, oh crap, why can't I say? Why is it just this feeling, of peace and joy and happiness and just like to an extreme level, like a level that I had never felt in my life. But I can't tell you what triggered it. I can't tell you any words around it. I can just tell you everything was absolutely amazing in that moment. And then now it's just ahas, which I'll let Melissa, you talk about insight for a little bit because I feel like if I go into ahas, it's a little different.
So I really like it's like in that moment, it's like reality shifts. It rearranges itself without you having to do anything or try and work it out. Yes.
Mhm.
And I love this metaphor. So it's you're watching a scary movie at night and the music is intense and the shadows going everywhere and you're feeling the fear and your heartbeat's going and you can feel that there's something bad that's going to happen. And then the camera lens comes out and just for a second you see the edge of the set. You see the microphones. You see the other actors in the background laughing. And instantly the fear goes. Because you've seen beyond the illusion now. And it's like, it doesn't matter that the music's still going, the shadows are still going, that intense music and that is still there, but you just can't be scared the same way you was before because you've seen behind the illusion. That's an insight. It's getting that shift of perspective. It's getting that different, it's getting the sight behind the illusion of what you're experiencing.
And it's effortless. It's effortless. It just happens. There's a new thought, there's a good feeling, there's something. And inside of you, it just changes
Mhm.
everything. And all of a sudden, everything on the outside looks different.
Yeah.
All of a
Even if
sudden,
nothing.
it's exactly. But all of a sudden, the problems that you were facing, they're still there, but they're not problems anymore. Cause now it's like, holy shit, I let my mind settle. I got quiet with it. And now I just know what to do.
Yeah.
It,
I'm gonna share something that I've never shared before.
Ooh.
And so I know, right? But this was kind of one of the first things. So after I had this shift and I saw it differently and everything was beautiful and like just everything was beautiful. I was sitting in my room and I was studying the Ultimate Coach program, and everybody else is in the living room, which is kind of like right outside my bedroom. And I hear them talking about there's these lights outside, these yellow lights, and it's literally my car being repossessed by the, repo man taking it away. And I was in my room and I hear them saying what it is and I hear what's going on. And the thought that went through my head was, oh, well, okay, I'll either get it back or I won't.
Hmm.
And then I stopped because, like, I was like, what? I questioned it. I was like, who was that? Because that's not me. That's not, no, what is going on right now? It was really cool just because I was wondering where is the freak out? Where is the so dramatic? Where's the screaming, the yelling? And I wasn't stopping any of it. I wasn't pushing it away. I wasn't saying, "Oh no, we don't do this." I was more like, "What the hell just happened? Like, who said that? I'll either get it or I won't." Like, what the hell happened to me? And I still didn't even realize it, but that was like my first thing that showed that once you get a kind of a glimpse and have an insight, a shift in perspective, the illusion goes away. That was not my normal reaction to a problem like that. And that's kind of what we mean too. I'm not saying that that's going to be exactly for everybody, but for each of us, whatever level of consciousness we are at, it's problems at that level or the previous level, they dissipate and they're no longer a problem. And yet that's the truth. I've seen that in a couple different ways, but yeah, that was my first like, who said that? What's going on here? What'd you do with Crystal? So I've never shared that before. So
I
there you
love
go, everybody.
I love that. I absolutely love that because it is like when you get those new thoughts, especially when you have that level of awareness
Mhm.
that we do, like, and when you have this level of awareness, it's like, oh, that's a new thought. That's interesting. And then it becomes fun. And yeah, I had one. I mean, this is really personal. Um, so I'm going to share it anyway because I'm a sharer. But the other day, okay, so obviously I spoke about I've had issues with sex for a while, you know, and my partner wanted sex and we was in bed. I was like, okay. And then he was touching me and all of a sudden, bang, insight. And I realized because obviously I'm still numb, I still don't really feel anything. And I'm like, oh, I've been trying to actively feel. And instead, what I need to do is just accept it first. And I was like, oh my God, Dave, I just realized something. Like, I've been trying to change it and I've accepted everything else in my life. Why hadn't I thought about doing it there? You know, and it's like these insights are just so powerful. They just kind of they literally like 360 turn you into a different life.
Yeah, they show up, and then the uh, the old thinking patterns we used to fall back on all of a sudden aren't there.
Yeah.
There were times where when things would get tough, up until 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, when came into this and had my first insight, where when things got rough and I felt overwhelmed, I would still have that thought. You could just get high. And now it's like what I would have seen before as my entire world falling and crumbling around me. Now, my first thought is it's not as bad as it seems. And I take a step back. And that thought of I could just get high or I could run because I was a runner, whenever things started to look like they might go bad, I would dip out or I'd destroy it completely and then dip out because, you don't want to go backwards. So you might as well burn the bridge while you're on it, right? And yeah, I decided I was told that those were behaviors because of my addiction and my bipolar. And so I identified with those. That's just who I am because I'm broken.
Mm.
There's something wrong with me. I'm not wired right. So I'm just going to fuck it up. And it's like now I don't have that, well, I'm just going to fuck it up. Might as well screw it up now, right? I don't have that anymore. That's not there. And it's like I said, that first insight of I am not my crazy. I guess that could go along with like when Eckhart Tolle says, we have a voice in our head that pretends to be us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I had crazy in my head that pretended it was me. And I could see that, holy shit, just because it's going on doesn't mean that's me. And that was a huge one for me. That was when I was finally able to start to drop below those thought storms, those hurricanes on, that's when I was able to start to fall below them is seeing that, well, that's just noise. That's not really who I am. And the insights are so different. There's some that I'll be listening to something and just get, the tinglies all over and I'll start crying. And I have no idea what the hell was just said. Not a
Mhm.
clue.
Yep.
But the cool thing with that is don't try to figure it out. Just sit in that good feeling because it starts to unfold in your everyday life when shit hits the fan and you're like, well, I'll get it back or I won't.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to, Melissa, what a very powerful and vulnerable share that you shared with us. That's awesome. I mean, the insight itself is awesome too, because that's yeah, as many of our viewers who've seen other episodes know, that's a major, major insight for you. I love that. That's like, see, talk about tinglies. It's that
Mhm.
connection. I have tinglies from Melissa right now because that's super, super exciting. Like oh gosh, I
Yeah,
gotta
like
stop.
that because you're gonna get me emotional.
I'm
Because
tingling all over right
like,
now, just goosebumps everywhere. I
it's
love it.
crazy, like, the difference I feel about it, like, in just one thought, like, I've been struggling sorry. I have been struggling with this for so long, and in that one instant, it just changed everything, like, even though I'm still not feeling anything, like, it doesn't bother me anymore. Like, it's just, I know it will come back when it's supposed to. I know that I'll get feeling again. And I know I'm not broken. I'm not a broken woman anymore. Like, it made me feel broken for so long. I felt like, oh, I'm not, my body's broken, or, I should feel something, all of this stuff that was going in my head. And for so long, I was trying to make myself feel something. But that trying to make myself feel something is confirming that I'm broken. Because if I didn't have to try and make myself feel something, then it wouldn't be an issue,
Right.
So yeah, like that really opened. And after that, I had another insight about my body, about the food. I've been struggling a bit with food. Like, I've kept my body, and I knew that it was linked. My body and the sex, I knew it was linked. And it's funny how I had an insight about the sex, and now I just had an insight about the body as well. And it was like, and now for the last few weeks, I've lost 2 pounds every week, effortlessly. It's not
Nice.
been a struggle. Like, I've literally just been doing my life, and I'm just losing weight on its own. I'm still eating chocolate. I'm still eating the things I want, but I'm just losing weight, and I'm not having to really take effort into doing it. That's what an insight does. It changes your fucking life.
Yeah.
In an instant.
Yeah. And
Your
Jen,
entire reality. Sorry, go ahead, Crystal.
no, go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say, it goes to show us just how illusionary our reality is. How just a simple shift in perspective, seeing something from a new way, changes our entire reality. You know, like you were saying, Crystal, problems just kind of dissipate. It's not that they're not there, it's just now you don't see them as a problem. Does that mean we'll never have problems again? No, there's going to be new problems at the next level.
Mm.
But they're you're just one shift in perspective away from solving them too.
And I think, because obviously before you have a shift, before you have that light bulb moment, that kind of reality shift, it's hard to share what that is when you haven't experienced it yourself. And sometimes it's hard to think, how is this going to help me? Because at the minute we're just saying words, and some people who haven't had shifts will only hear the words. So the best recommendation I can do is stay in the conversations, stay listening to this type of things, read the books, read the YouTube channels, that creates that space for that shift to happen, for that insight to just drop in, because it does just drop in without you even, you could have a conversation with someone, or you could be listening to something, and then 2 days later you're doing the washing, and then bang,
Yeah.
the insight comes.
And they come in a quiet mind. And you can rely. I don't remember who said it exactly, but insights are 100, what is it? 100%
They're
uh
100% reliable, 98%
unpredictable.
unpredictable.
We don't know when we're going to get them, but you're more likely to get them when your mind is going slow, when you're allowing space for them to come up. And it doesn't even have to be words. I mean, an insight can come from anywhere. Can come from the birds outside. They can come from just taking a walk. Don't laugh at my bird mafia. They were going
Sorry.
at it today, Crystal. Those big birds were pushing around the little birds trying to get all the food down. It's hostile back there.
Sorry.
I have a bird mafia in my backyard, Melissa. I have a little bird feeder that fits the little birds. and the big birds can't fit on it, so they, like, bully the little birds to knock it down onto the ground so they can get it. But there's meetings and stuff out there every day.
I'm sorry, John, because as soon as you said bird, I thought of your bird mafia.
I know, I wasn't gonna bring up the bird mafia, but, like, Jane was making comments about it today, so, like, bird mafia is where it's at today, I guess.
So sorry. I wanted to add something, not to the bird mafia, to insights. Something I don't think either one of you said it yet. But I know you would. Here's the thing too. You can't force it.
No.
That's like the biggest like thing I think that people trip over when coming to this understanding, or even, when you're just you're dipping your toe in the water thinking, do I want to check this out or do I not? And then you're seeing all these people and they're talking about life is wonderful and problems fall away and your perspective shifts and all this stuff and everything feels great and things are peaceful and the world looks different and you're like, I want it. I want it. I want what they have. But the harder that you try and chase an insight,
The
it's
further
it's
away it goes.
yeah, it's just gonna run. They happen naturally. I know one of you at least said something like that. It's effortless. That's what you guys said, and that's the truth. It's effortless. They just come because honestly, like it's so crazy. Like I wasn't looking even for I wasn't even looking for inner peace. I wasn't looking for anything. I'm truly thankful. Truly thankful. But I wasn't searching for it. I was just searching to be a coach, to help people. And it was a bonus for me. So I'm truly thankful for all of that. And, I wouldn't change a thing. But yeah, never try to force it, I guess is my biggest thing is to just anybody want to add to that.
I love the butterfly metaphor for this because an
Yeah.
insight is like a butterfly. If you chase it, it's gonna fly away, and you're
Mm,
gonna chase it and just get frustrated. But if you sit and rest, that butterfly will come and land right next to you or right
And it
on your
it fucking does as well. Got a picture of it.
I was gonna say Melissa can attest to that one
Yeah,
for sure.
literally. That whole week I was chasing the butterfly. I wanted a picture for my post and it just kept flying off. And then all of a sudden, I completely forgot about it. I was on my phone, bang, it fucking landed on me. And my friend took a picture of it. I was like, so literally, like the perfect metaphor. And it actually happened in that way. It was just like that.
Yeah. And Jen and I have seen the picture.
yeah.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
beautiful butterfly on my phone. And I just remember my friends like, get your phone out, get your phone out. And it stayed there. As soon as she took the picture, as soon as it went snap, it flew off because I
Yeah.
wasn't chasing it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the hardest parts for me about this understanding is not chasing it,
Yeah.
not digging into it. Because the more you search and the more you try to find these insights and uncover them for yourself, the harder time you're going to have finding it.
Mm.
It's in that quiet, it's in that stillness. And
And
that's hard for me. That was really hard for me. And in our society, I think it's hard for a lot of people because we're such a go, 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 busy, busy, busy human doings, not human beings.
yeah, I like that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why there's so much suffering.
Yes. Going so fast, trying to do,
Mm.
but not even sure what we're doing. So we're just doing.
I was the same. I was the same at the start. Like, I was one of these people that thought, "Oh, this is not gonna work. This isn't gonna help me. I've tried so many things in the past." And I kept going back to the calls. I don't know why. I just kept going back to the calls. Because there was something in me that was telling me there was truth in this. Even just the other day, I realized just how much I've changed in just a year, just from this three principles. Like, I was looking through my journals, and things I write about myself was just pure horrible. You know, calling myself a stupid cunt, and you are a fucking failure, and all of this stuff. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I truly love who I am as a person, as a human being. I accept myself fully, even though I know I've still got struggles. Like, I know that they will pass as well. And I think that's one of my biggest things, is learning to actually like myself. And the three principles has allowed me to do that.
Yes. And when I first came to this understanding, I called bullshit.
Mhm.
Like, I called bullshit in so many ways, especially when David was talking about someone with bipolar just getting off their meds. I was like, yeah, it's not real bipolar, because I know what happens when I go off my meds. I sell everything. I move into the car. I make poor decisions and light my entire life on fire, so I have to start over again. But I kept listening because something sounded true. And then I had that first insight of, I am not my crazy. And then I started learning how to get quiet and allowing that insight to grow. I didn't get any great, big, huge insights. Everything changed instantly, probably because I was so skeptical and so in my head about it. Maybe for them, but not for me. They don't have all these diagnoses. They don't have, and as I as I got quiet and just watched, I could see it. I could see all the versions of myself that I had created, all that noise that was in my head. At first, I started to see how I was the one that made the barriers. I'm the one that separated myself into these different versions. And then slowly, as I watched, there were less and less, until there was just the one version in my head pretending to be me. And I could still see that as not being me, as just being a concept of me. And so it was I'm not going to say it was really slow, but it was slowing the mind down and allowing it to self-correct,
Mm.
because I had believed for so long that, my brain was broken. And I was told that, I was told it, you'll never be okay without these meds. You'll never be a functioning member of society if you're not medicated and on all these antipsychotics, and because you're batshit crazy. And I believed it until I didn't. And, now I'm all in this because I'm not on my meds, because I don't struggle like I used to, because all the things that I called bullshit on are now every day in my life. And that's the power of just listening. Just hang in there, because if you hear something, even if the voice in your head calls bullshit on it, if you get that tingly feeling and you just feel something pulling at you, that's truth.
Mhm.
That's truth that's been hidden inside of us and covered up with all of our conceptual thoughts of who we think we are and who we think we should be. And if you let those go, you get new thought about who we really are, who you really are. And that makes all the difference. It changes everything.
There's one thing that a lot of people struggle with, and I struggle with this as well. And it's like, how do you quiet your mind? How do you slow down? And I think for me, one of the best answers that helped me was questioning the thoughts, was not reacting or seeing the reaction and then just standing back or sitting down or, allowing ourselves to have the reaction or the emotion. And like you say, being the observer of it. And I think when you deliberately allow yourself to have space, then you're creating that space for new thought as well.
Yes. And I wasn't one that noticed when I was in my head at first because I was always in my head. I didn't know what it was like to not think because I was thinking the second I woke up until it finally shut off because I passed out at night. And so I started to notice the contraction, the when I would tense up, when I would scrunch. And because the just letting go of all thought was so foreign to me and so hard, the quiet was hard for me at first. So I just worked on when I felt that tension, releasing. When I found myself in my head, just releasing. And at first, I thought about not thinking. I thought about dropping the thought. I thought about, but I was still chasing insights, thinking about not thinking and why isn't my insight coming because I'm not thinking how I used to think, but I'm still and it
Mhm.
would go and it would go and but it was just in that release. And at first I did it 100 times in 8 hours, you know? When I was at work, every time something would come up and I'd catch myself, I just try to drop it. When the things that used to really bother me, the beeping noises or loud noises, I struggled with those. And then I would have a lot of thinking about those and I would like clam up and freak out. And instead I just stepped back and didn't feed to it. And when I'd start to, I'd like call myself on it. Hey, you're doing it again. Do not engage. And so the art of not thinking was a process that I had to learn to do.
Great.
But it was, yeah, go ahead.
So for me, it was different. I don't want people, because it happens differently for everybody, right?
Yeah.
There was no art of not thinking for me. Like, it was so effortless. I didn't even realize that, first of all, I've said this before, I didn't even realize I had a busy mind to begin with until I didn't. And the only thing the realization that I had after having a shift as far as the quietness was, well, one, wow, I actually did think a lot. But there was like no a quiet mind in the space in between thought that just came with my shift. And I was okay with it. Like some people, I mean, maybe that's the difference. Some people are not okay with the quiet.
Mhm.
They want to hang on innocently, okay, because it's their identity, their whole life so far. They want to hang on to the busy mind. They want to hang on to this concept and they want to hang on to all those different things. And for me, yeah, it was nah, there was that space and it was quiet and I loved it and I didn't fight it and I didn't try to figure it out. That's the one thing I've been fine with really is never ever trying to figure anything out, which is probably why I can't put words to my massive shift because I don't care. What I don't care whatever it was that made the shift happen. I am just thankful that it did. So I'm not going to go digging around. I'm not going to go trying to find, oh my gosh, what exact thing flipped the switch inside me that changed my whole world because I'm fine with what happened. So I'm not saying you guys aren't. Like I'm just saying for
Yep.
me in my perspective, yeah, the quiet mind came, the space between thoughts, and it was just my awareness grew as I realized, oh, this space is cool. Or, when something would happen in the past that was something would be on a regular basis. Like I like to talk about my one son and I like to butt heads a lot. And so we would argue about all kinds of stuff in the past. And it was like when he would come at me with something and I had nothing to say. And not because I was restraining myself, not because I'm like, oh, you're a better person now because you've seen differently, just because there was nothing to say. Like there was not that part of me, that arguer that wanted to debate everything, that wanted to be mean, spiteful, be right. Yeah, I know I'm talking about one of my kids. Um, it was no longer there. And I love it. Yeah, I don't really care what the words would be around my insight. One day maybe it'll come to me. Hey everybody, just a quick pause. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit the subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with someone you think that might need it. Because the more people we reach, the more people know that it is okay to be okay. Now back to the podcast. Um,
I love
yeah,
that because we are all so different, it
yeah,
shows other people what's possible. Not just one type of person that can get an insight, it's every single person in the world that can get them.
yes.
Whether you're quiet naturally or you're really busy naturally, and sometimes I'm still busy in my mind, but it's more of a buzz now that I can just ignore. I'm not the thoughts. I'm aware. And it doesn't bother me. It's just like, if a fan's on, you're hearing the noise. It's just like that buzz in the background.
Yes. And I think it's with insight, our awareness grows. And every time our awareness grows, then it's like that quieter mind, that dropping thought, it becomes effortless.
Mm.
It's not because we're trying to drop the thought, it's because we know that that thought is causing us to feel a way we don't want to feel. And so automatically we just let go, we step back. Um, when before I would lean into those thoughts and I would feed them and I would argue with them and I would believe them. Yeah, I think with every little insight, every little, all it does is it brings our consciousness up, brings our awareness bigger, and then we can see further. And
Mhm.
it's effortless. And so trying to teach someone the how to, there is no how to because everybody's awareness is different. Everybody is different. And what would cause mine or your awareness to grow would mean absolutely shit to someone else. That's one of the hard things with this is there is no how to. I mean, everybody has some sort of technique or thing that they do for themselves. And that's what it is. You find out what works for you. But instead of making it, oh, I have to do this every day or I'm not going to be okay, it's that it just comes up. Hey, maybe I should journal. Maybe
Mm.
I should take a walk. Maybe I should sit and meditate. It's not a, you have to do this so many hours a day and do this and this and this, and that's how you're going to get there. It's a, just relax into it. Know that it's already there.
It
Relax your mind and allow it to expand.
it's trusting that little voice as well. Like, this is such a silly little example, but I really struggle to drink water during the day. Like, I can go all day without drinking any water. I'm really bad at it, and I'm trying at the minute to drink more water. And again, I'm trying. But the other day, I was just sitting in the lounge, and I just had this thought of I should have some water. And normally I would ignore it, and I'd carry on doing what. And I thought, oh, that's an insight. That's a new thought. Why am I ignoring that? And so I actually went into the kitchen and had some water. No, so insights can be big, or they can be like such little things like that that we don't even realize that we're having an insight or we're having a new thought that will lead us to where we want to actually be.
And yes, if we're quiet and we listen, our body, mind, it will tell us what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I know exactly what you're talking about, Melissa, because I too struggle with drinking water. And yeah, I'll get those, oh, you should have a cup of water. And it's like, oh, I could have a soda or I can have a cup of coffee. And it's like, no, you should drink some water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I mean. We can always set goals for each other. We can always set goals for ourselves. And what we don't realize is the less we hold on to them, the more that insight will take us in that direction, naturally, without effort. And I'm finding that now, like, if I just take a step back, I'll tell the universe what I want, and then it will kind of, the synchronicities and the things that come up and the ideas that pop up that will lead me exactly where I want to go, or even better, because I have no attachment to the goal. I set the goal for a direction, but as soon as you let go of the attachment, then the ideas, the thoughts, the opportunities that come to you, just follow it, trust it, and the more you trust, the more you get.
And it'll take you places that you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
So I want to back up for a second. Look at me, I'm always backing up. Uh, the how to, right? There is no how to. Absolutely correct. But one of you said it at the beginning. I think it was Melissa. Doesn't really matter who said it because here's the point. There's one thing, don't try.
Mhm.
Don't try to work it out. Wait, if listening to our podcast, absolutely, you can have a shift in consciousness. It is absolutely 100% possible. But let the words wash over you. It's not so much in what we say, it's the feeling that comes with what we say.
Mm.
It's the space that we all hold for each other and for anybody listening and watching. If there's any kind of how to, that's the how to. Don't take notes. Don't write it down. Don't put any effort into it because, yeah, the how to is don't.
Don't try.
Don't
Yeah.
try. Just let
It's
it.
like, listen to us as if you were listening to a piece of music.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes.
Mm. You don't
Absolutely.
listen to music and you don't try to analyze everything that's been said. You just listen to it and it flows in. And that's why you have such an emotional connection to songs, because you're feeling it. So it's the same with this, with the three principles. Feel it, let it in. Stop trying to analyze it. Stop trying to work it out. And there was something else I was going to say, but I've forgotten it. The thought train left the station without me.
Happens to me all the time. I just wanted to add that part
Yeah,
just because that's what I kept hearing with the how to. It's more of a just don't.
that was it.
Like,
It was
Yes.
that sometimes, especially for people with a lot of busy minds and that have done a lot of stuff, doing nothing is actually harder than all the stuff that we're doing.
Yes. And trying to not figure it out. I always tried to figure everything out. I had to, you know, pick up the pieces. I had to make something out of nothing. I was always trying to figure it out. And you don't figure it out with this. You allow it to come up. You create space to allow it to come up.
And have that knowing that it will happen. I think, yes, at the start, it's more faith, it's more allowing yourself to believe. But then when you start getting those insights, and you will get them if you stay in this space, they will come. It's not an if, it's a when. And then when you start getting them, that faith, that belief grows. And then once you start getting a couple, that's it.
Yeah. Once you see it, once you start to see like the expanding of the awareness, then it just starts to happen. And the less you try to interfere with it and be like, well, what if we did it this way?
Mm.
Sometimes we think that we know better than the wisdom inside of us. And I can guarantee we do not. Because all of the problems we are in right now, we got there with the thinking that we have. And
yeah,
if you want to solve a problem, you can't solve it with the same thinking that created it.
Yep. Beautiful.
absolutely. I had something to say to that, but you know what? My thought left. It's gone. Train took off without. Yep, there it goes. So remember, that was beautiful, Jim.
Mm.
I I don't even know what to say.
Let's just enjoy this silence for a little bit.
I love
Yes.
that.
Why not?
I love that. What a beautiful demonstration.
And you see, it's still there, that kind of uh, uncomfortableness that comes up because of silence. And we're so afraid of silence.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
Silence.
funny, we're afraid of the thing that has all the answers.
I love that, Jen. Fucking
I
love
do
that.
too.
Yeah, that was good.
That was amazing. And what I wanted to say was that silence for the three of us. Well, okay, I won't speak for you guys, but you can nod or, disagree. That silence for the three of us was absolutely beautiful and
Mm.
peaceful.
Yeah,
Felt
like,
great. It didn't feel
um,
awkward at all. But for some of you guys that might be listening or watching, it might have felt a little weird for you. I loved it. And I think it was a beautiful display. It was, yeah, it's perfect.
I just had a thought, and I don't know if it makes sense because I'm just going to spew it out, okay? But going with that, okay, silence, it's like when we close our eyes, it's darkness, right?
Mm.
And we're taught to be afraid of the dark, to fear what's in the dark, to fear what's in the silence. Why are we taught that when that's where the truth is?
mm,
Because the truth is in the light. That's why.
the truth is powerful. We are
Mhm.
we are taught to be small. And I know this is gonna go a bit more um darker, but it's more keep the humans small, they're more controllable, more manipulable. You know, everyone that's trying to help people wake up, they're being pushed down. You know, they're told they're crazy. They're told all this. But I mean, the world is waking up. And when people wake up to themselves, there is no anger, there is no wars, there's no fear, because that's where most things come from is fear. And this silence is what people are scared of because fear is there.
Because it's unknown.
Yeah.
You can't see in the dark. It's unknown. You're not supposed to see with your eyes. Close
Mhm.
your eyes, embrace the darkness, embrace the unknown, the silence, because that's where your light is.
I was gonna say the only thing that can pierce darkness is light.
Yeah, you can't see light without dark.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. I just feel really peaceful right now.
I know, so do
Yes,
I.
me too. Oh, is that a good spot then?
That is a good spot.
This was a great
I'm
conversation.
Yeah, it's really, really, really relaxed now, and I just feel like I could just go and float off somewhere.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking I could just float right now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, well, that's it for today. Go
Yes.
practice being in silence. Practice. I think that's a good practice for everyone. Not as in like a doing practice, more as just a allow yourself to sit in that silence. Allow yourself to feel the uncomfortableness because that will tell you more truth about yourself than anything else.
Yes.
And allow it to become comfortable.
Mm,
Because it does. It really does. And then it becomes a refuge, a
mm.
home, a safe spot. With that, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, do all the things.
And we'll see you next week.
See you on the next one.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
1, 2.